Jim, I don't know. Are they turning the corner? Or are they still spinning their wheels? We'll find out. We'll get into a little bit of Bees talk coming up in just a little bit. We worked the Celtics game last night. A couple of takeaways from that. Joe Mazzulla has more comments on the NBA Cup. Tomorrow night is the Mike Tyson fight. Or the exhibition, I should say. I got the odds on that one. And the Patriots play a game against the Rams this weekend. A lot of love going on for Alex Van Pelt right now. And something doesn't smell right. Something doesn't smell right to me when it comes to the New England Patriots. So we'll start there at 617-779-0985. Pulling up YouTube right now. You can join us. I have people telling me all the time that they are watching on YouTube right now, and they're already in the chat. I see Ryan, Tom, all the guys in there. Feel free. I try to read all your chats. So a couple of things I wanted to get at the top. Patriots and Rams this weekend. Christian Barmore is back at practice today. A lot of people know about his story. Obviously having a health scare with blood clots. He's back at practice, and they have 21 days to make him active. Interesting story there. Hopefully, they wouldn't put him back out there if things weren't all right. So that is the story. This is somebody they could have sat for the season and worried about it next year and considered his health. It happened with David Andrews a few years ago as well. They're without Dietrich Wise this week. I don't know if they'll make that move for this weekend, but the Rams can run the football, and I think about what happened last week with the Patriots. Can they carry it over? I don't think they can. But I was wrong last week, too, when it came to the Bears. McVay last week settled for field goals. And I know against some bad teams that works. Unfortunately, it didn't happen with Tua Tagovailoa and the Dolphins, who are slowly getting back into the mix. But when it comes to the Patriots and when it comes to their quarterback situation, I've mentioned that with Drake May at quarterback, his 5 games starting this year is the best run a Patriots quarterback has had since Tom Brady in 2019. Tom Brady's final year, the Patriots offense averaged 23.9 points per game. And in Drake May's first 5 games, the offense is averaging 19.3 points per game. And actually 19.6. Mac Jones had 42 starts, and I may have mentioned this before, but I'll just go over it if anybody who missed it. Mac Jones had 42 starts in his career with the Patriots and averaged 19.3 points per game. Cam Newton averaged 19.2 points per game. Bailey Zappi, in his 8 starts, had 16.8. Hoyer had 13.5, and Jacoby Brissett, in his 5 starts, 12.4 points per game. Is that how we should judge Alex Van Pelt? And I'll get into Van Pelt coming up in just a little bit here, but when it comes to him, he's 16 points per game with Brissett, and then he's 19 points per game with May. So is it the quarterback or is it the coordinator? Because there is certainly a lot of love this week when it comes to Van Pelt. Yet, a guy who's pretty tapped in. A guy who's very tapped in. All of a sudden, mentions that the Patriots are calling around for help on how they should handle their offense. And then everybody loves Alex Van Pelt. Very interesting timing. That's... You smell that, Skaz? Something doesn't smell right there. Everyone all of a sudden, he's the great guy. It took 12 meetings, but they found their guy. But they're calling around about what they should do next with their quarterback. Doesn't smell right.
Joe, I thought it was I thought you weren't allowed to call around. I thought you were not supposed to go outside the organization for help. I thought one Mac Jones faced heavy criticism for doing just that and calling outside of the organization for help.
So you're saying that when Mac Jones did it, it was insubordination?
I believe that's what we were told.
But when the Patriots are doing it, reportedly, it's good.
No, they're doing their homework, making sure they check all their boxes.
But now the reports are everybody loves Alex Van Pelt, huh? I want to enjoy a Patriots week of a win. I do. But I don't need the Chronicle. Because this is a narrative. You want to use the narrative? This is it. They won a game. The offense is looking better. The quarterback looks like he can play. They've won 3 games. They have a chance to beat the Rams, and they do. I don't think they will, but they do. They have a couple of games in there they can win. Good point there by Skaz. And maybe this is a Belichick. I don't know. Is this the difference in the vibe there? Is this the Gerard Mayo vibe difference? That when he does it, it's frowned upon. But when the Patriots are doing it, we love Alex Van Pelt. We love him. Very interesting.
So take the narrative out of it, the Mac Jones doing it versus them doing it. How do you feel about them doing it just in general? If they are, reportedly asking for help outside the organization, how does that make you feel?
Honestly, they should always be trying to find ways to get better. Always. For real.
Yeah.
I think Van Pelt is probably a pretty good quarterback coach. Can he run plays and run a script? He can, but is it flawless? Is it, perfection? Is it something he should be doing in the league? I don't know. So do I think he's a good quarterback coach? Yes. Do I think he's improving? Yes. And the number with Brissett to May, is that because of Van Pelt? At some point, isn't this what every single person tells you in this town about Tom Brady when they do the Brady Belichick thing? It's the quarterback. It's the quarterback. The quarterback's putting up good numbers, right? In 5 games? But now the offensive coordinator's getting the credit for it? It's just, this is what I mean by the vibe is different. This is what they mean by the vibe is different. Very interesting on that one, Skaz. But am I okay with it? Yes, because I want them to find the best guy for Drake May. I don't know if Mayo's the right head coach for him. I certainly don't think Van Pelt's the answer. But if they could find better, yes. Who are they calling around to, by the way? Who are they? Because they think about it, right? McDaniels is still out there. I'm sure they're all still tight, right? Unless he's got his allegiance to Bill. I'm just curious who they're calling on. If the report is true, of course. I got some numbers for you coming up here. Drake May's first 5 games versus Mac Jones. I feel like it's a good comparison, right? Promising first season for Mac Jones when he was here. Promising first 5 games for Drake May. We'll do that coming up next. Skaz is here. I'm Joe Murray. We're taking you up until 7:30 tonight, just before the Bruins game. They're in Dallas. Great barbecue in Dallas. Pecan Lodge, one of my favorites. We'll go to a quick break. I'm Joe Murray here on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Don't go anywhere. There's more Joe Murray.
All right, back here at 98.5, the Sports Hub. I'm Joe Murray. Oh, it's so funny with the Patriots. You know, they win a game, and then it's, well, hey, the offense doesn't stink so bad. And, oh, man, reports are that the Patriots are calling around to see how they can better help Drake May or support Gerard Mayo. All those are out there. All those things going on right now when it comes to the Patriots. And then today, I see this. There's multiple stories here, so this isn't made up by me. This is actual stuff I saw today. And it's pretty interesting because when it comes to all these articles, all the headlines are about Alex Van Pelt. All of them. So I'll read you a couple of these because I thought it was pretty interesting here. But here's the first one that I read today. After the dust settled, Gerard Mayo interviewed candidate number 12. And when he hired Alex Van Pelt, he might not have been the first choice, but right now, Van Pelt looks like the right one. Especially for Drake May. Who was saying that before they beat the Bears this weekend? Nobody. So again, reports are out there. The Pats have been sniffing around on ways to improve their team or their offense. Or support Mayo and Van Pelt and May. So today, after the dust settled, here's another one I read today. This one was pretty interesting as well. There's no one in the organization that deserves more credit. That was the quote from Gerard Mayo, who's happy with the job Alex Van Pelt is doing. So there's another one. And then finally, one last one. Stat of the day. Skaz sent me this one, so I thought it was pretty funny. Alex Van Pelt says the Patriots counted 58 instances of players picking each other up during the win at Chicago. A culture metric for the team. So now the local media is in on it now. The local media or the beat reporters, and please don't be offended, beat reporters, but you guys have stories to write and a story to do today, right? This is what you're being fed now by the coaching staff. Mayo's so happy with Van Pelt. Van Pelt looks at 58 instances, right, huh? He's there with a pencil, checking 58 instances where they're picking each other up. Oh, it's the vibe and the culture once again kicking in for the Patriots. Because it wasn't like that when Bill Belichick was here, right? Mm-hmm. But now you're getting it in the Herald. You're getting it in the Athletic or wherever. Everyone's writing about how great Alex Van Pelt is all of a sudden. And I just ask you guys this. Is it Van Pelt's improvement? Or is it the fact that they have a quarterback who can throw the football? And for the people who have been on the side of Tom Brady for 20-something years, it's not the coordinator. It's the quarterback. So here, Van Pelt, this is a Patriots trying to give themselves credit for the move that they've made. That's exactly what this is. I can smell it. This is what it is. Also, wanted to give you those numbers. Drake May versus Mac Jones, first 5 games. Mac Jones had a pretty good start to his Patriots career. But I wanted to give you his first 5 games versus Drake May's. So Mac Jones, first year, 2021. And you're going to have to, use your brain a little bit here and think back, but that first game of his career was a 17-16 loss in Miami, or to Miami, excuse me. That's when Damian Harris fumbled on the goal line. That game, he went 29-39 for 281 yards and a touchdown. He was sacked once. They only scored 16 points, but first game at home, fumble on the goal line, whatever. The second game was against the Jets on the road. They put up 25 points. He went 22 of 30, 186 yards, had no touchdowns or interceptions, but was sacked 3 times. His third game was against New Orleans. They lost bad. He threw 1 touchdown but 3 interceptions. Then a game against Tampa Bay. That was the return of Tom Brady. You remember that. He kept them in the game. They only scored 17 points, though. He went 31 of 40 for 275 yards, 2 touchdowns and an interception. He had those back-to-back touchdowns, though, if you remember. I mean, those were highlights. He was sacked 4 times in the game. Then they went on the road to Houston. He went 23 of 30, threw a touchdown and an interception. So if you look back at it, the most impressive thing that he did there was that comeback versus Tampa Bay, but it was still only 17 points. Some of the people say this about Drake May this year. Like, they won last week. They scored 19 points on 4 field goals and a touchdown. So if you want to be critical of Drake May, they're winning games, or he got his first win, I should say, but the offense still isn't really putting up over 20 points per game. And if he has, they've lost. So overall, the numbers for Mac Jones in his first 5 games, 135 for 190. He threw for 1,243 yards, 5 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. He was sacked 10 times. When it comes to Drake May, the numbers aren't so different. And I'll give you the game by game here. And one of them, of course, he left a little bit early in with the injury. But in his first game, we all know he played the Jets. I'm taking that one out of it. But his first start against Houston, they lost 41-21. He went 20 of 33 for 243 yards. He threw 3 touchdowns but had the 2 interceptions. Then against Jacksonville, they only scored 16 points, but he did throw 2 touchdowns. Against the Jets, they won 25-22, but he left. He went 3 of 6 in that one. Then the loss to Tennessee, 2 interceptions and a touchdown. And then last week, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. So the overall numbers for Drake May, 93 of 142 for 954 yards, 7 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, sacked 12 times. There's a big difference between Mac Jones in his rookie year and Drake May. Mac Jones had receivers. Mac Jones had a better offensive line, probably even a better running game for that matter. Drake May, worst offensive line, worse receivers, more touchdowns, less yards. So just wanted to give you the comparison of the two of them because people loved Mac Jones in his rookie year, who he was a Pro Bowler, let's be honest. Yeah, nobody could see the look I just got from Skaz on that one. Remember he did the gritty at the Pro Bowl?
Who could forget, Joe?
Yeah. What do you think of the numbers here? Basically, more yards for Mac Jones, 1,243, but touchdowns 5, interceptions 5, 10 sacks to Drake May, 954, 7 touchdowns. I mean, if he plays more of that other game, I bet you his numbers are even better.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing for me is when you look at those two rosters. You look at the offensive line that Mac Jones had compared to the offensive line that Drake May has, or, I guess it's getting better, but looking at the two offensive lines, it's not even remotely close. Mac Jones had a significantly better offensive line, so Drake May is doing more with less, and I think that's something that, has been one of the takeaways. It's every single one of his starts is that he is able to do more with less, and that's one of the biggest attributes you want in your quarterback is to make every player around him better and elevate the team, and Drake May is doing that, 5 games into his career, so long way to go. But yeah, I think the raw athleticism, the upside with Drake May, you're already seeing it being much higher than that of Mac Jones. Mac Jones came into the NFL, I don't want to say he's a finished product, but much closer to, what he would be as a finished product than Drake May is.
Played in a pro offense and won a national championship, right? Like had running backs and Mac Jones had one of the greatest wide receiving rooms in college. You know what's funny? People think that they can look at Drake May's college tape with what he had a bad offensive line, right? And I even talked about this. Mac Brown, like, was he even a good? I mean, he's recruited very well. Is he a good coach?
He was UNC's leading rusher, I believe, the last year and a half. So yeah, Drake May was doing it all.
But like
at
Tez
UNC.
Walker, like I do,
And Tez Walker had issues with the NCAA. He couldn't get on the field.
But Drake May was always the reason why they were in games. People will say it's also the reason why they weren't in games. Oh, he was erratic. Don't get me wrong, but when you're the best player on the team, you do everything you can. Isn't that what he's doing now? Like the interception he made last week, he said he tried to throw it away. I don't know what he was throwing to. Maybe that was just one that we have to look at and say, all right, well, I got to take his word for it. By the way, just to follow up on, I wanted to look at what Mac Jones did week 6, because this will be week 6 for Drake May. It was a Dallas game. He went 15-21, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. They lost, but they scored 29 points. So maybe the Patriots score more than 19 points this week against the Rams. If the Patriots score 29 points with Drake May, don't you think they should win the game? They didn't with Mac Jones, yet the defense was so good, right? That Bill Belichick defense. Your thoughts at 617-779-0985. We got Dean in Shrewsbury. How was your birthday, Dean?
It was great, man. It went really well. I got some good carrot cake and some good lasagna.
There you go, lasagna.
Yeah. So Peyton Pritchard is now by a mile the number one odds-on favorite for Sixth Man of the Year. I was wondering, do you ever think he could be an all-star? I think one day he will be. He's averaging 20 points per 30 minutes. He's rebounding the ball, passing the ball very well, and he has a 67% true shooting percentage, so he could probably increase his usage and still be efficient.
Ooh. Let's ask the Green Teamer himself, part of the Green Teamers podcast, James Scaramuzzino with Jay Stu. Do you think that Peyton Pritchard could be an all-star?
Yeah, do I think it's possible? Sure. Do I think it's likely? No. Sixth Man of the Years to be all-stars. Kevin McHale did it in 84. But to not be a starter and make the all-star team is very different. I think Kobe did it in his second year in the league, maybe his first year. I don't know if he was an all-star his first year in the league, but I know Kobe did it when he was still kind of coming off the bench early in his career. So it's not something that happens often. Obviously, if Pritchard keeps these numbers up, he should be considered, but being an all-star in the NBA is very, very difficult because of the guard position and the elite guard play in the league and how many of these guys start on a nightly basis. So possible, sure. Likely, I don't think so.
6 man to be all-stars, huh? Was Jason Terry? I'm just thinking about it. Jamal Crawford? Oh, Kevin McHale. That's a good one. Yeah, McHale. Was Manu Ginobili at the time?
Jason Terry was never an all-star. Manu was an all-star twice, but it was the 2 years he started.
Got it. And you mentioned Kobe as well, but that doesn't count. Interesting. I don't think it will happen. Also, watching him, like they played the back-to-back games, right? He scored 6 the first game, 23 the second game. So he had like a bad one game, but then bounced back the next. If I'm being critical, it's not every night he's putting up 20 points. If that was the case, all-star. Not ready to go there. We got some Celtic stuff coming up in a little bit. We got Robbie in the car. Hey, Robbie.
How's it going? So, couple things here. One, I think we can all agree Drake May is a significantly better quarterback than Jacoby Brissett. So we're winning, and not even winning, but looking better despite Alex Van Pelt. We're only getting, just what you said, 3 points more a game with Drake May. No, we look good despite Alex Van Pelt. Drake May is elevating him as well as everyone around him. I also want to point out, you brought up Pecan Lodge earlier. Dude, fantastic. I brought people to Dallas for a bachelor party, took them there, and watched as 8 people's lives change biting into the brisket. Thanks.
Thanks, man. Pecan Lodge, I went there for WrestleMania a couple of years ago, and I had a deep fried rib And just imagine ribs, and then you deep fry them, and then you sauce them again. Yes, it was life-changing. It most certainly was life-changing for me. The only thing I don't like about Dallas is too big. Too big. Greg is in Worcester. Hey, Greg.
Hey, how's it going?
How you doing?
I had one. Good, thank you. I had one quick question. Just if you had the second overall pick last year in the draft, which quarterback do you think the Pats would actually get or draft?
So it's
looking back on.
It's a good question. All right, so real hypothetical, like real. You want my honest answer of what I think the Patriots would have done?
What they would have done. No Belichick. No Belichick.
Yeah, that's
no
what I'm saying. Bill Belichick would have wanted.
No Belichick.
I know. Bill Belichick would have wanted Jaden Daniels. So I think the Patriots would have done everything different than Belichick.
Yes.
So I think they probably would have taken Drake May second because of it.
Even what do you think the Bears would have not taken Caleb first if they knew how the next 10 weeks were going to go?
Caleb Williams is
the guy. He is the guy. He is the guy.
Yeah. And the thing is that if the Bears didn't take him number one overall, it would have been what would have happened?
We would have taken him third. The Pats would have taken him third.
Yep.
And we'd be happy about it. I think.
Yeah.
We hope.
Yeah, I mean, in all honesty, though, Drake May did fall to the Patriots. I think if Daniels was available, they probably would have taken him.
Yeah, I'd say. All right, so I agree. It was more just, it was kind of just. What if? That's why I changed it to 2, not 3.
Yeah, it's a hypothetical. All along, it sounded like. But think about it: the relationship between Brian Kelly and Bill Belichick. That would have been another thing that the Patriots would have been like, we can't do this.
Yeah, I don't think we take Drake if Belichick's the coach.
Agreed.
And I think he's even said on the Manning cast.
He hated his footwork.
He did not like Drake May.
Yeah.
We've all heard that.
By the way, I think Drake May's footwork's been much better.
I think he's the best of the 3.
I think
based on what we've seen.
I'm starting
what happened.
I'm starting to wonder if he has the most upside because I always thought Caleb Williams did.
No. Yes. Thought yes.
Yeah.
Going into the draft, 100%. As like a college football fan in New England, it doesn't happen very often. I know we're very few and far between.
Yeah. What part of Worcester are you in?
So I live near the Auburn side, but I went to UMass Amherst, and obviously our football team's a joke. It has been a joke. Has been a joke since I went there, and I went there from 06.
There's a battle of 4 wins for both UMass and the Patriots.
Hey,
all right.
We're coming. We're coming this weekend. we might actually have a. We're not beating Liberty. Maybe next weekend.
Yeah, I actually would bet Liberty is what I would do.
Yeah, 100%. There's no chance we're beating Liberty. There's no chance we're beating. I think we play Georgia in a week or 2. It's going to be bet the over. Bet the over just based on Georgia.
Oh man, thanks.
Worst football team I've ever watched in my entire life.
I don't know, man. I've seen some bad ones this year, man.
I've watched UMass since 2004 before I went there. This is one of the worst football teams I've ever seen in my entire life. I love them because I'm a UMass guy. I'm a UMass guy at heart. You know.
All right, buddy. Well,
they're terrible.
Thanks, Greg.
But,
appreciate you. Sorry.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Have a good night.
You're good. I'm still thinking about those ribs. I don't know what happened there. Anyways, more of your calls coming up on the other side here. Why do I see?
If you're thinking about those ribs, Joe, someone has a question on them.
Should I take it? All right. Andy's in New Hampshire. Hey, Andy.
Yeah, I just want to know, the life-changing deep fried rib, was it battered and deep fried, or was it like Chinese food and just a spare rib dropped in a fry later?
Nope, not that at all. Actually, believe it or not, it was a rub.
It was a dry rub?
They deep fried a dry rub and then sauced it.
Okay.
So when I ate it, it was saucy, but then after it dried a little bit, I could taste the rub.
All right, you're making me hungry. All right, thanks for taking my call.
No problem. I never had this before. I know. That's why it's questions, right? And it would just break apart so easily, too. Look them up. Pecan Lodge. It was a long line, too. And you know what was funny? When I pulled in, they go, yeah, we ran out of barbecue chicken. And I go, that's not good. And they were like, we only have a few pulled pork left. It was me and Sarge and, like, I forget who else we were with. And we just looked at each other and, like, you guys want to split it? We go, yeah. Because they were running out of food. All right, speaking of running out, we got to go to the break. I'm Joe Murray. Here's the headlines.
Sports Hub headlines.
All right, Patriots getting ready for the Rams. Christian Barmore was back out on the field as clock officially starts. They have 21 days to make him or add him to the active roster. The attendance at practice. here, 98.5 The Sports Hub. I'm Joe Murray. Two things. Our caller Gabe has checked in on the bets for tonight. I'll tease that for a little bit because last night he gave me Schroeder over points hit. The first half Celtics have been hitting a ton. So that one hit last night too. But I'm going to tease that. He's got 2 greasy anytime touchdowns for tonight. They look good to me. So I'll tease that really quick here. Another thing here is, and maybe Skaz, you can help out. A listener has tweeted at us. Watching the stream on YouTube, there's no way to comment. I'm watching through an Xbox. Help. I think, do you have to be on your phone or a laptop to chat? How do you chat?
The chat bar is usually just on the side of the. Yeah, I haven't. I'll be honest. I appreciate someone watching us through Xbox. I have not done that yet.
Wow!
So
Imagine.
That's a new one to me. I don't know where the chat. I would imagine it's one of the side options, but I don't know.
Are we now the video game? You know how I watch? I use the remote, and I just click the voice, and I say 98.5 The Sports Up YouTube, and it just goes right to the channel.
Yeah, the TV. But hey, Xbox, whatever works. I'm in.
I watch Fred and Friends every morning.
Fred and Friends?
That's what I call the show, Fred and Friends. I forget what they were talking about yesterday. Oh, they played our call the other night. Well, remember it was from a couple of weeks ago. Remember the guy that called in on a Friday? He asked the question about he's dating his friend's sister?
No, he's dating his... Oh, boy.
I know. He thought it was weird that 2 brothers and sisters were dating.
But yeah, it was fine. I think was the conclusion.
In the end, it was
to.
But he also mentioned that he was by the fire, and he goes, "Yeah, I'm hanging out with my dog by a fire." And we're like, "All right, well, what's that got to do with anything?" Anyways, people are wondering if we're on his sister's boyfriend's sister. Thank you. Yes, he was dating his sister's boyfriend's sister. It was his sister's boyfriend's sister. It was weird, but then they played it because they wanted calls like that. Last night got a little interesting here too, huh?
The last 30 minutes was quite something.
Do we have a post-game show tonight?
No post-game tonight. 8 o'clock puck drop.
So are you out at 7:30?
On the road.
Good for you, Skaz. Good for you.
A full show tomorrow as well, Joe.
That's
fourth and Friday.
Fourth and Friday.
Joe Me the Money.
Oh, I got Joe Me the Money ready to go. So, dude, there's 3 huge NFL games this week. All with tonight's a big one.
Yeah, I think for standalone, like if you're talking like time slots for games, this might be the best week of the season. Standalone game tonight, Commanders Eagles, very good game. 1 o'clock on Sunday, you get Lamar in Pittsburgh against the Steelers.
7-win teams.
4 o'clock, you get Mahomes in Buffalo against the Bills. And then the night game on Sunday is Burrow versus Herbert, I believe. So a very, I will not be taking a lot of steps on Sunday.
Too bad Harrison Butker got hurt, huh?
What a shame.
Just the Chiefs,
I think Taylor Swift has a song about that. I don't know.
I actually am intrigued by that game, though. Like, the Bills have proven to me that they don't need a top wide receiver. But we've learned that here, right? You only get so far. Plus, do you want to bet against Patrick Mahomes as an underdog? No. That was a shot at Harrison Butker, everybody, just in case you didn't pick up on it. Phone number 617-779-0985. We get some Bruins stuff coming up. I got some Celtics notes that I wanted to bring to the table as well. But let's talk to Chris. He's in Worcester. We got a whole Worcester crowd tonight. What's up?
Yeah.
What's up?
Yeah, I know. And I love the last Worcester call about, Auburn. I live near the airport on Mill Street.
Oh, you're near Hot Dog Annie's.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, bro. I know that. I know Hot Dog Annie's. I used to eat the hot dogs and watch the planes go off.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
No. But let me ask you a question before I get to Van Pelt. Pancakes for supper one night? Like, would you ever do pancakes?
Absolutely. Breakfast for dinner is amazing.
I know, isn't it sometimes?
Sometimes I like to make pancakes and I'll wrap it as like a sandwich.
Now I'm getting hungry. I'm getting pancakes. But anyways, my mom makes them for me. She's a wonderful woman. 84 years old.
Wow, 83 still making you dinner? That's awesome.
84. Yeah, she's a wonderful lady. I'm 54 and whatever. But she's a wonderful lady.
Hi, lady.
But Van Pelt, I just had this question that's been bugging me, where the scuttlebutt is out there, and he must hear the rumblings like, oh, the family's out there or someone's out there asking about how can we make Drake May great. Could Van Pelt go out there and ask his friends, maybe a college coach or somebody out there, hey, how can is that rude of him to do that? Like a Mac Jones kind of thing where
that's what we were
trying to say?
Chris, we were just talking about this. Why was it that it was bad when Mac did it, but now the team's doing it, and now all the reports about Van Pelt being so great? I feel like it's
weird. It's like very strange.
A double standard.
Do the same thing. Yeah, double standard. Yeah, and if I was Van Pelt, I'll do the same thing. Like, hey, I got this idea from some. I don't know, but
right,
thank
Chris.
you guys. Pancakes tonight.
All right, baby. Pancakes. It sounded better live. I don't know why. So do you think I'm rubbing off on people?
You're saying the noises are contagious.
Do you think that when I react to food and people hear my reactions, they're now reacting in a way?
I don't know if maybe I'm just listening for them more, but yeah, I'll say I am noticing an uptick in the vocal noises around food talk. It seems to be an increase in the night show.
I like the guy, but did it sound like his mom was in the background too? Like I thought I was going to hear a Mom the Meatloaf, but I'm not sure. But I love pancakes. Dude, if my mom was making me pancakes at 54, dude.
It sounds like a dog with a chew toy. Like you're trying to get the chew toy away from the dog.
Oh. We'll just drag this out a little bit here. Let's talk to Greg. He's in Northbridge. Hey, Greg.
Yes, I was the one that tweeted to you about the no commenting on the Xbox.
Oh, you're the Xbox guy.
Yeah. So I watched through the stream on the app, but there's no way I can comment on the actual stream.
Well, I would like to troubleshoot this because I'm not aware, but generally I'm on a desktop right now. So do you see a little arrow or anything that says top chat or anything like that?
No, absolutely not. I have the ability to turn the chat on or off. That's about it.
And you can turn it on and see it, but you can't chat.
Exactly. I can't type anything into the chat.
Do you have a YouTube login?
Well, I could go through my laptop and all that, but it's just more convenient to watch through the Xbox on YouTube.
I agree with it, but what I'm trying to say, though, is I think because I'm logged in on my television at home, and I think you might have to be logged into YouTube.
Oh, could be.
Yeah.
But just my current setup, I just can't comment on the actual chat.
You know what,
through
Greg?
my Xbox on YouTube.
I'm glad you brought the situation up because I'm not sure. I'm going to find out for you. I'm going to troubleshoot this. I'm going to send in a ticket to our IT team and figure this out for you.
Hey, anyway, love the fucking show. Awesome.
All right, Dummy.
Whoa.
I was looking for you back there.
I got it. Don't worry. Multitasking, answering the phones and being ready for the dump button.
Do you know that my call letter is dummy up? You know when I yell dummy up?
Dump it.
Oh, yeah.
That was a triple right there. I was hammering the button on that one.
That was loud and clear for everybody on the stream. Basically, he said he loves the bleeping show.
Big fan.
Big fan of the show. It's my fault. I went too late. We got too comfortable. We got another hour to go here on the Sports Hub. And again, this one's brought to you by Jackson Lumber and Millwork, supplying contractors and homeowners with residential and commercial building materials since 1946. JacksonLumber.com. I'm Joe Murray. Celtics talk next here on the Sports Hub.
More Joe Murray coming up on the Sports Hub. KCFM and HD Boston 98.5, the Sports Hub, a Beasley Media Group station. Sports Hub headlines.
All right, the Patriots gearing up for the game with the Rams this Sunday, and they saw Christian Barmore back on the practice field. He's got 21 days now in order to be added to the active roster. Of course, missed time with a health issue during training camp. The injury report is out. Dietrich Wise and Tyquan Thornton both missing from practice today. Thursday night football, and it's a good one. In the NFC East, it is the Eagles hosting the Washington Commanders. Right now, Eagles 4-point favorites, a total 49.5. Kickoff for that one just after 8:15. Bruins in Dallas tonight. You can hear that game right here on 98.5 The Sports Hub beginning at 7:30. Jeremy Swayman's in net. Patrick Brown has been called up. Hampus Lindholm will be out indefinitely. And the Celtics, they'll take on Toronto on Saturday night. And the Red Sox made a signing today. A man named Justin Wilson. Headlines are brought to you by Safety Insurance, providing comprehensive coverage for your auto, home, and business. Ask your independent agent about safety. I'm Joe Murray. Your next update in 30 minutes.
Boston plays here.
Pressure, half court, it's in the air. He got it! He did it again!
98.5, the Sports Hub.
A 13-point deficit in the first quarter became a 30-point lead late, and the Celtics bounce back from a difficult night at the Garden and win for the 7th time in 8 road games this year and their 9th consecutive win in Brooklyn, and they win it going away. The final score, Boston 139, Brooklyn 114.
Games. And this is from Sean Grandy, who loves to do the research, so he does the research, and I give it to you. Here's a little bit of a checkup of where the Celtics are 13 games in and having an actual day off. They're 10-3 on the year. 4th best record in the NBA, 2nd in the Eastern Conference, only behind Cleveland, who they will play on Tuesday night. They've played an NBA high 8 road games. Number 1 in the NBA in offense, number 8 in defense, number 3 in net rating, number 2 in true shooting, number 1 in made and shot three-pointers, number 5 in made free throws, number 2 in the fewest turnovers in the NBA. And by the way, should I mention that Kristaps Porzingis has not played yet? Now, the numbers do show that they were a better team last year through 13 games than this year. But their pace right now is 63-19. Do you know what their overall record was last year, guys? 64-18. They're 1 game off a pace from last year. And they're without Kristaps Porzingis. So, again, if you're frustrated about the Celtics, check yourself. This is still the best team in the league. Still. Oh, they lost the game to the Hawks in an NBA Cup that nobody cares about. Again, I told you that before the game. Nobody cares about the NBA Cup. But here they are on pace. The scoring margin this year is 10.8. The scoring margin last year, 11.4. They were a historically great basketball team last year. Oh, the path was so easy. Do you see the league right now? There are 2 teams in the Eastern Conference with winning over 500 records. Like, the league is bad. They're the best. Don't worry about everybody else. Forget about it. I know Joe Mazzulla has some changes for the NBA Cup that we'll get to in a bit. Did you see the Nike tweets, guys? Because I'm sure this will get brought up on the Green Teamers this week, right? NBA basketball tweets out, nothing childish about him. 59 for the Greek Freak. And you know that that's a shot after Jaylen Brown called Giannis a child. This is becoming petty. So now Nike's doubling down on all the Jaylen Brown stuff. More than ever, I believe in Brown. More than ever, I've been Team JB all along. Now I know it's real. I wonder if who's the social media guy get in trouble for this, or is because this man, it's rounds all over the place. He even responded, by the way. Did you see it? What do you think of that, Skaz? Green Teamer.
Yes.
Green Teamer's pod.
My thoughts on that are one, it's just very weird optically to see an organization, a company with the size of Nike taking shots at a player in a league that they are, one of the most notable, apparel, shoes, jerseys, whatever. Nike and the NBA are, pretty synonymous with each other. I just don't get it. I have a hard time understanding so Jaylen Brown calls them out on some of their employee practices over the years, some of the way they handle business, and Nike's response to that is to send out childish tweets and to, the social media director certainly has nothing to do with the Olympic roster, so I don't want to make them the same thing, but there certainly is something between Jaylen Brown and Nike doing, however you feel about it, childish, weird tweets like this certainly doesn't help their case or make them look any better. So for me as a Celtics fan, and just as a fan of the NBA, I find it very weird that a brand as big as Nike is basically publicly fighting with Jaylen Brown.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Got some weird energy, man. That was Jaylen Brown's comment. Because his energy has shifted, remember? I mean, it did. They won a championship. Oh, this is Nike. Giannis scored 59 like it was like, whoo.
Yeah, against the Pistons. Congrats.
Big night last night, though, for him. Wemby.
50 for Wemby last night.
Who else had a big night? Somebody had 46, wasn't it? Jokic has been crushing it.
He's the MVP. Tatum is having an unbelievable year. He is doing everything for the Celtics. He leads the Celtics in points. He leads the NBA in points. Leads the NBA in points, rebounds, and assists combined. Leads the Celtics in points, rebounds, and assists. But all of that to say that Nikola Jokic is still the best player in the world and will be the MVP.
I had all that in my rundown. Tatum up to 46 assists on threes this year. He's tied with Devin Booker. Do you know who leads the league, by the way? Cade Cunningham.
Cade has been awesome to start the year. I've always been a fan of Cade. Obviously, maybe the worst situation in basketball when he stepped into Detroit, but he's a phenomenal player, and I'm not surprised to see him playing well.
Detroit, though,
Yeah.
Like when I saw Giannis drop, I went, okay, bro. By the way, one other thing I wanted to bring up. Just a year ago around this time, the Celtics signed Peyton Pritchard to the cheapest extension of the 2020 rookie class. Remember last night we had a guy who wanted to trade Peyton Pritchard?
I do remember that. That was certainly an interesting take.
14 players, right, were assigned to rookie scale extensions in October of last year. Nobody took a cheaper deal than Peyton Pritchard. He settled for 4 years, $30 million. But he already showed he was capable of playing playoff minutes in a rotation. But they cleared a path for playing time for Pritchard, trading away Malcolm Brogdon and obviously Marcus Smart. And Pritchard jumped to the extension. And here you are now. The Celtics are reaping all the benefits here on a nightly basis. But that deal, when you look at it, it was the cheapest deal of any of them. Through 13 games this year, he ranks 4th on the team in scoring. He's shooting 43% from three, averaging 9 a game. And it's skyrocketed his 6th man of the year odds now. He's a favorite. But the fact that the Celtics they're paying him $6.6 million. And there were other guys who got huge deals. LaMelo Ball, Anthony Edwards, Tyrese Halliburton. They're all big ones, but what a steal. Like, great job by Brad Stevens on that one. He's a big part of the team. 617-779-0985. We're taking you up until Bruins hockey tonight. We got Cam. He's in Easton. What's going on, Cam? You're on the Sports Hub.
Hey, what's up? I was calling in to see how you're feeling about your bet for the Patriots, to be the worst team in the NFL. How are you feeling about that? Well,
I have a couple of bets. I have under 5.5. Under 5.5 wins, and I have them with the least amount of wins in the league at plus 345. So here's what I hope for. How do I feel about my bet? I hope that they go under 5.5. So if anything happens, I'll wash out if they're not the lowest. Like right now, the Jaguars have the least amount of wins, right? And they're going to have Mac Jones as their quarterback over the next couple of weeks. They'll probably fire their coach too. So I feel like Jacksonville's probably going to be the worst team.
Yeah, that's definitely fair. And the Giants are kind of in turmoil too. But as much as I've been enjoying the Patriots, I do feel like there's a little bit of turmoil behind the scenes.
Oh yeah.
But I mean, I've been pretty confident, or I don't want to say confident, maybe hopeful in how they've looked and where they're trending, I guess. But big game this weekend.
Real quick, if the Patriots and like I think the Patriots could still go 3-14 the rest of the way.
I know they could. Like that's what I mean. They're kind of. I feel like they're teetering, kind of like it could still almost the house of cards could fall. But
and if the Jags get 3 wins, do you know who would get the worst record? Patriots, because they lost the head-to-head.
Oh yeah, that's true. But I could also see the Patriots maybe stringing together a couple wins here.
Realistically, the Patriots could have 5 wins this year.
It's crazy. I don't think anybody was expecting so many mediocre teams in the NFL this year.
But I still think they're not. Like I still think they have one of the worst rosters in the league. So was my bet at plus 345? If I lose it, I'm not upset about it. But I would like it to be under 5.5. But I'm going to sweat that thing out, I think.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, if Drake May can be like a top 10 quarterback, that puts you in in competitive situations every year. I'd say we'll see, but there's still a few big players away.
All right, Cam, appreciate your call, buddy. Yeah, I know my bet's still out there. They still could have the worst record in the league. Man, I can't believe that Peyton Pritchard extension, huh? I don't think that's talked about enough. He could have accepted a bigger extension or just went into free agents. He would have got paid, and they wouldn't have been able to keep him. Think about that.
Brad strikes again.
No, but that's I hope people don't think I'm green pixie dust here. No, that was a hell of a move. They're getting 23 points a game from a guy who makes $6 million. And if he didn't sign the extension, there's no way they would have kept him. Wild, bro. Wild. Speaking of wild, Jim Montgomery's going back to Dallas, where he once coached. Curious about his reception. He's already been back there. Fast team tonight, though, against the slow Bruins. I don't like their chances. But there are some Bruins news out there. We'll wrap this show up here on the other side. I'm Joe Murray. You're on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Don't go anywhere. There's more Joe Murray.
All right, back here 98.5 The Sports Hub. It's Jim Montgomery returning to Dallas tonight again. Dallas 9-5 on the year. Tyler Seguin will be in the lineup tonight. Just looking at some of the lines that are projected: Zaka, Pasternak, Geeky, Lindholm, Brazeau, Marchand, Frederick Coyle, Tyler Johnson, and then Kastelik, Beecher, and Koepke. Of course, Hampus Lindholm will be out of the lineup. He's expected to be out multiple weeks. Jordan Oesteri has been recalled. He's going to play tonight. He'll be on Boston's third defensive pairing alongside Parker Wotherspoon. So keep your eye on that one. 32-year-old had 8 points in Providence this season. He's 11-year vet. He's played 370 games. Jeremy Swayman will start tonight between the pipes as well. They're coming off that win the other night, a 3-2 comeback win. I thought when they were down 2-0, that was it. Drove home, bing, bang, boom. Dallas had that 7-1 victory over the Penguins on Monday night and took care of business against the Bruins the last time they played. So I want to know what the bounce back is. What's the power play look like tonight? Does McAvoy go back? Is it Lowry? What do they do there? I just think Dallas is a really fast team. And one of the biggest issues this year is speed for the Bruins because of the penalties. And then when they go on the penalty kill, they stink. So that's my concern tonight. Penalties, speed. Swayman's in net. Let's see what happens tonight. But the Bruins are playing better hockey. Although it's teetering on that. Quick little 2-game road trip overall. They win tonight. It's baby steps. Sweep a little 2-game road trip without Hampus Lindholm. Good spot for the Bees tonight. I actually wanted to look up the betting line on that one. I'm sure they're major underdogs tonight. Well, let's see here. Boston plus 145 tonight. So, yeah, oof. Dallas is playing really well. Dallas 6-1 at home this year. So we'll hand things off to Ryan Johnson and Bob Beers coming up in just a little bit. I did want to give you the greasy parlay or the greasy picks that our buddy Gabe's been giving us every week. Tonight, he likes Jeremy McNichols or Jahan Dotson anytime touchdown tonight. And it's a nice little NFC East battle between the Eagles and Washington. It's somewhat of our first look when it comes to Washington. But let me give you some numbers when it comes to Thursday night football. Home teams absolutely struggle on Thursday night. Thursday home teams are 42-55 against the spread since 2019. And when they play outside of the Sunday night window, it's even worse, 97-116. So over the last 2 seasons, game played on a Thursday night are 19-10 to the over. Here's another thing about the Eagles. The Eagles have played 9 games this season and are 6-0 when A.J. Brown plays. They're averaging 30 points per game when he plays, but when he's out, they're 1-2 and they average just 17 points per game. They're 4-point favorites tonight, coming off, again, back-to-back divisional games, one on the road, now at home on a short week. The Eagles haven't covered a spread in their last 6 straight home games. And he struggles at home. Or they struggle at home in general, the Eagles. But Jalen Hurts plays well, though, in prime time. 8-2-1 against the spread. Just wanted to throw out some of those numbers tonight when it comes to Thursday night football. But we get a good look at Jaden Daniels and what Washington is. Jalen Hurts, Jaden Daniels, huh? How about that matchup for tonight? Again, let me just give you the total on that, too, because, again, the over is hit Of the last 19 of the last 29 times. Total is 49.5. Oof, high number. A very high number. One other thing I'd look at is probably a rookie quarterback on the road in the divisional game. In a way, I somewhat lean. I don't want to back the Eagles. The Eagles is a favorite. Generally, it's a fade. Based off Thursday night home teams, fade. But Daniels has been good. He's thrown for 2,100 yards, 9 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. And scary Terry McLaurin's having a hell of a year. 47 catches, 700 yards, 6 touchdowns. Can the Eagles' defense slow them down? Eagles, Commanders, Thursday night football tonight. Eagles, again, 4-point favorites. The total is 49.5. I'm interested in this one. We mentioned it. There are 3 games this week where teams have 7 wins each. This is one of them. Washington's been a really good story. Quinn, Kingsbury, all that. Can they go on the road tonight against a team with high expectations that